Hello everyone, Mr. MC here, and I am back with another tuning and lap guide, and this one is going to be all about Group 4 cars at Nurburgring GP. So this is the current daily race B as of the week of March 13th, 2022. And look at my car, just do a little bunny hop. But anyways, before we get started with the tuning, we need to go through the race details. So this is Nurburgring GP Group 4 and tuning is enabled, but the thing is that we only have racing hard tires to work with, and the performance point cap is 630 or less. So we need to try to make a tune that's pretty fast and that meets the performance point requirement. And for this video, I'll be using the Mazda Atenza Group 4. And the tune that I'll be showing later is the tune I use for this lap, and somehow getting a 2 minutes 0.8, which is a crazy lap time, number 3 in the world as of the recording of this video. But anyways, make sure you go to the tuning shop because you want to make sure that you have the following things. Make sure you have the power restrictor, a ballast, and then you want to make sure they have the fully customizable computer. Make sure you also have the high RPM turbocharger. That doesn't come with the car. You'll need to purchase that. Make sure you have the fully customizable LSD. And make sure you have the fully customizable suspension, racing transmission, and racing hard tires. But now let's go ahead and show the tune. Alright, so here is the tune, making use of all 630 performance points. Please feel free to take screenshots if you want to. I wanted to make the Atenza be fast at Nurburgring GP, want to turn a bit more, but also stay just stable enough so it didn't try to spin out coming out of the turns, especially the final chicane. This was actually pretty hard to do as I kept on going over the 630 points, performance points, so that was a bit of a painful puzzle task to complete. Also, make sure you have the high RPM turbocharger as that's going to give your car a bit more power. You may need to nerf your car's power a bit, but whatever you do, try not to add any sort of ballast as that's really going to hurt your car's performance. Luckily, with this tune, I was able to not add any sort of weight. And the gears were pretty short. I actually had to keep the 6th gear at exactly 0.843 because the moment that I moved the 6th gear just a little bit up, the performance points would shoot up to 650. So really weird things. I had to get really creative to try to make this whole thing work. And what you end up getting is a bit of an interesting car because this car is willing to turn in a bit more. It still keeps a bit of stability, which is great, especially going through the final chicane, and it has a bit of speed, and that's going to be useful going through the main and the back straights. I did make the gears a bit longer, especially 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th gears to really take advantage of the high RPM turbocharger. You can actually see my car going a bit faster than the Ghost. That's the high RPM turbocharger at work, so you want to be revving the heck out of this car. And this car, it is willing to turn in a bit more, but you also need to bounce the throttle quite a bit to try to make the car turn in even more. That is something I kind of found out later on throughout the night as I was trying to get this tune nailed down. There are a couple turns where it is possible to shift down to 1st gear for a short moment to get the car to turn in even more, and you're going to see that in a moment. So I think it's this turn right here where I go down to 1st gear. Okay, it's not this one, it's actually the next one. But yeah, you really need to rev the heck out of this car. I also had brake balance at -1 because I felt like I actually had brakes with the brake balance at -1. With brake balance towards the back of the car, so +1 and beyond, the car doesn't really want to stop. So me personally, brake balance -1 is going to be the way to go, at least for this tune. And then in the next turns, you'll see me bounce on the throttle a bit, trying to get the car to turn in a bit more. That's something that you may want to do as well to, once again, just try to get the car to turn in a bit more because this car is in auto drive, so it's already kind of understeery. And we're going to go through the final chicane in a bit, and then we'll start on the lap guide, just because I wanted to show you how I drove this car and explain it, so I don't have to explain it in the lap guide. And here we go. So you got to be really careful to here. Lots of bouncing on the throttle to try to keep the car stable through the final chicane, because if you get too aggressive on the final chicane, then you're most likely going to spin out. But let's go ahead and go on over to the lap guide. Alright, so here is the lap guide 1 lap ago, but you want to bring yourself towards the left side of the track, revving the heck out of this car. Brake balance is also a -1, by the way, and brake just as you reach the 150 meter board. So you're going at full braking power. Slowly ease off of the brakes as you turn in, and try to nail the apex as there's a little dip that will help the car turn in a bit more. Just use a little bit of braking for this left turn, just slowly easing on the throttle, and then brake before the green area on the right end. So you want to slowly ease on the brakes, just doing lots of trail braking, so braking as you're turning in. Make sure you bring yourself all the way to the inside part of the track, and just carefully get on the throttle, and you want to bring yourself towards 3rd gear. Do a little lift off of the throttle, and that way you'll be able to get a slightly faster exit compared to going from 2nd to 3rd as you exit that turn. But anyways, brake as the path on the right opens up. Brake hard for a short moment, slowly ease off of the brakes, but bring yourself towards the left, and brake before the curb on the left end. So brake hard for a short moment, slowly ease off of the brakes as you're turning in, and just carefully get on the throttle. It's actually a little easy to spin out over here, even in this car with this setup. But bring yourself towards the left, brake just as the curb on the left starts, brake as much as you can, and you can actually briefly go down to 1st gear to help the car turn in a bit more, and just carefully get on the throttle, making your way out of the turn. Do a little lift off of the throttle as you go through the S's, just trying to keep as much speed as possible. Bring yourself towards the right, and you want to brake when you reach this gray area that is on the right, pretty much where the shadow is. So you brake hard for a short while, slowly ease off of the brakes. Lots of throttle control as you go through these turns. And this one's a little difficult. You can brake before you reach the track marshal on the left, just using just a little bit of braking control. You're just trying to fine tune the car's direction and then get on the throttle. Now bring yourself towards the right, and here comes the moment of truth, because this chicane pretty much determines the fate of your entire lap. So you're going to brake just after the tarmac turns dark gray, which is before the 100 meter board. I start to brake right here. Brake as much as you can in a straight line. Ease off of the brakes as you turn in, turning in just after the 50 meter board. Take advantage of the curbs, lots of throttle control. You want to try to keep the car under control. Bring yourself towards the left, and brake just as the dry area on the left starts. So brake hard for a short moment, slowly ease off of the brakes as you turn in, and you can bounce on the throttle to try to get the Atenza to turn in a bit more. But that is going to be it for this lap guide. 2 minutes 0.8. It took me about an eternity to try to get this lap time, but hopefully this tune helps you out. But that's all from me. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off now and also go to sleep. So this is Mr. MCA, the world's most okay player, and I'll see you in the next video.